Hey guys, Light Melody here. So today, we're gonna go over my second character that I'd like to see in Smash at some point in the future installment. If you haven't seen the last video I made, it's a character from a series I love as much as this one. But it is one that has a lot more of a probability of actually being in Smash. Now, this next character is someone who has been ignored for a long while. A character that has been relegated to cameos and appearances in group-type games. They are also known for being a trickster and snarky, and they seemingly have a fascination with the color purple. It's... If you were seriously thinking I was gonna talk about Luigi, I'm guessing you're new around here. Now, I'm not saying he would never make it in Smash, but I think his chances right now have been quite literally smashed out the window. And this is due to the amount of trolls and people that are actually genuinely mad that he's still an assist trophy, and the people who have, you know, kind of threatened Sakurai about him being an assist trophy. Yeah, you don't do that to the damn creator of the game. You don't do that to the creator of the series that you actually want to help support. It doesn't help. If anything, it probably makes his chances lower, even if he doesn't have a game of his own. I mean, neither does Rob, technically. I mean, he's an accessory for the NES, so yeah, that's kind of compliment. He technically does, he technically doesn't. But in our world, the negative often blocks the positive. So the fans that actually genuinely want Waluigi in Smash are at the bottom of the pile because of the whole thing with Waluigi at this point being a meme. And they only want him in Smash because he is said meme. It's stupid. And unfortunately, that is what's currently shown of the community with Waluigi and his own community. But enough about Waluigi. After all, this isn't a focus on him, but I felt like I had to get that out of my head. The true character we are going to talk about is Knights. Knights here is the third-party character I want to see in Smash. If you don't know, Knights is from the game, well, Nights into Dreams, on the Sega Saturn. So yes, Knights would be the third Sega rep in the game with Sonic and Bayonetta, though I kind of feel like Bayonetta at this point is kind of half Sega and half Nintendo. But Knights is the perfect representative for Sega after Sonic. Sonic and Knights actually have a pretty tight relationship for being completely different games. Both games were created by Sonic Team, both characters were created and produced by Yuji Naka, and designed by Naoto Oshima. And even though Knights has only 2 games in its series, Knights is only referenced in Sonic games, unless it's a Sega All-Stars game. Don't believe me? Knights has a pinball stage in Sonic Adventure 1, along with appearing themselves in Casinopolis. Knights' head appears on a building in Sonic Adventure 2 on Radical Highway. More recently, Knights' outfit was made available as a pre-order for Sonic Forces based on his Journey of Dreams appearance, along with the cuffs being the wrong color order. But Knights' relationship with the Sonic series doesn't end there. Knights' A-Life system in the first game was the reason you have Chao Gardens in the Sonic Adventure games. Hell, you can make Chows based on both Knights and Riella in Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic himself also made an appearance in Christmas Nights in 1996, which was a demo of the first level of Nights into Dreams, but Christmas themed. Sonic was an unlockable character with a 3D model. This supposedly was the first time he's ever had a true 3D model in any game. So Knights has helped the Sonic series in many ways, and now his only representation with help from the Sonic franchise is that Knights is referenced when they can. Not to mention in Smash, one of Sonic's skins is based off of Knights, with him being purple and his cuffs changing into purple Chaos Emeralds. This is a reference to Knights because he's mainly purple, but also he has gems incorporated into both his 1996 and 2007 designs. Knights is beloved by many Sega fans and can be considered to be the second mascot to Sega since they've made so many references and appearances within Sega's main IP. But the only thing keeping Knights down is the lack of relevance. Before making this video and script, I did watch Source Gaming's video made about Knights possibly being in Smash that was released on the 5th, which was also Knights' 22nd anniversary. The only thing I disagreed with in that video is the fact that Knights hasn't had a game in 11 years and has absolutely no relevancy. Relevancy, however, for me gets thrown out the window when I say retro character. No one can say a retro character from another company isn't out of the realm of possibility. Also, I don't think there's any rule that says the retro character must be a Nintendo IP. And in all honesty, when Melee came out, who expected Sakurai to bring in Mr. Game & Watch, or the Ice Climbers? And don't say Animal Crossing because it came out after Melee was released, and only with the help of e-readers. What about Rob, you say? Well, he was kind of relevant for being an unlockable character in Mario Kart DS. But to me, a retro character is a spotlight. You could say that Rob was not the only retro character that was brought back. In reality, there was also Pitt. And no one could recognize that. Pitt is technically a retro character. He had been gone for so many years, just like Knights. And I bring this up because this said spotlight can bring a character back to life either for being an older game or lost to time itself. Knights hasn't seen a game in 11 years, and this is due to Sega making a sudden choice to make Journey of Dreams a Wii exclusive, unlike how they originally planned for the PS3 and 360 at the time, which is why the game in some cases feels rushed, frustrating, and bad voice acting. The director of the game wanted to keep the flame of Knights and Naka's appearance of a dream based on dreams and overcoming your fears to be kept intact. But Sega making a rash choice like this for the crew is what put the game back so much, and Knights fell into obscurity again. Bringing Knights back as a retro character would fix this. Sega isn't doing much with this property at the moment, and it's clear someone on the Smash staff knows about Knights' relationship with the Sonic series, so this character isn't much of a stretch, relevance aside. It all depends if Sega would play ball with this idea. With that out of the way, this time I'm going to start with the moveset, because with Knights, it's a lot more easier to do things in particular with the moveset. So moveset first, and then I'll go on to the skins. So for Knights' neutral attack, I decided it should be a 2-hit, with a front kick and a back kick. Forward tilt shall be a 3-hit punch, up tilt shall be a backflip, and down tilt shall be a wolf turn. And now you're probably asking me, what the hell is a wolf turn? Does Knights take wolf and turn him? No, as funny as that would be, that's actually not the case. A wolf turn is a move in gymnastics, and I will explain why there's a gymnastic move in Knights' moveset. I'm gonna explain this. Knights is an acrobatic jester. Knights was also inspired by Cirque du Soleil. So what did they do? Acrobatic gymnastics. So I decided to combine a few different things that are kind of similar to gymnastics. So I've combined aerial gymnastics, some ballet moves, and some figure skating moves. Just because I feel like they would work with Knights being able to float and also being a master in the sky. So wolf turn does look like this. I have visual help because that will explain my idea much better. Just imagine this but faster and much more effective. Knights' forward smash shall be a drill dash. A drill dash is a natural ability that Knights has in a game, so it would be obvious that this makes an appearance. Now, why I decided to have that as the forward smash instead of the dash attack, I think they could be switched either way once I get to the dash attack. Now, the up smash is going to be a form of pirouette. It's a ballet move, and I thought it kind of fits for a up smash, so to speak, especially this one, this example. Imagine it faster and Knights' arms are there from the start, I suppose. It kind of makes sense. Down smash is going to be Heido Balding. Heido Balding is a move in figure skating, as the example clearly shows. Again, Knights can kind of float, so they have free reign of how far that they go. Now, they'll stop at one point, but they're gonna do that, and it's... yeah, if you land on Knights while he's doing that, you're gonna get sent in the air, so be careful. Now, the dash attack is gonna be a split leap. Now, this split leap could be, you know, it can be changed for the forward smash, I suppose. Drill dash can be a dash attack. I mean, it is called drill dash, so I suppose it can be the dash attack. But the split leap is interesting because I think this is an actual move that Knights actually does in one of the promotional images for Knights into Dreams. This one that's specifically on screen right now. I think this is the perfect move for either the dash attack or the forward smash. I just feel like it's an iconic move that Knights does. It should be represented in the moveset somehow. It's not really the iconic pose that Knights takes, but it is the second one that I remember the most. Going on to neutral aerial, this is going to be a triple axel. Ah yes, a figure skating move. Why this? I think it fits. It's kind of fitting for someone who's really airborne to be really good in the air. So kinda having jumping moves is kinda gonna be the key thing for Knights' moveset. Though I think this... No, it's not the only one. There's a couple other jumping moves that kind of fit better. I actually had a harder time trying to find down attacks, because for most part in gymnastics and skating and stuff, you're mostly in the air or actually standing tall. It's kind of hard, but the triple axel works. Forward aerial is going to be a grand jet, or grand jet? Jeet? I'm not French, I don't know. It's a ballet move. Here's an example of it. I just think this works. Now we're moving on to the back aerial, and it's gonna be fly away. This is a gymnastics move. But instead of Knights being, well, instead of Knights being the one that lands backwards, like in this example right here, specifically these frames of animation, specifically these frames right here that I'm showing, no, it's not Knights that's gonna be stick the landing. It's gonna be the opponent. Again, Knights can fly, so there's no reason for them to stick the landing if they're being attacked. They're gonna throw you to the ground instead and see if you can stick the landing. It's Knights. Knights is known to be pretty joking at times, sassy and trickstery, so this is absolutely perfect for them to take a spin on it. The up aerial is actually going to be an aerial cartwheel. Example on your screen right now. This makes sense. Again, Knights is really good in the air, so they should be able to pull this off quite easily. Down aerial, again, I had some trouble trying to find something for it. So I decided to take this move and apply it into the air, and that's going to be your Chenko. This move right here, either the entire move or the end bit of this move is going to be the down aerial. Now, for Knights' grab, I decided it was appropriate to just have a normal close grab, as most characters have. There's not really any way to have a long grab like Samus. Now, the neutral special, again, it's reserved for... Again, neutral special, it's kind of reserved for projectiles mostly. So I decided, as a nod to the games where you're actually collecting these things, you're gonna toss a bunch of blue chips. These blue chips are actually really necessary in the first game and kind of secondary in the second game. But for the most part, they are an important staple of the games, and I thought Knights could try throwing them at you. A couple of them. Maybe 3. Now the side special, I decided is going to be the gymnastic move Gainer, as shown here. It's actually quite similar to Samus's side special, I think. It should look pretty similar, but I don't mind if they share the same move. But Knights is going to be a little bit more graceful. Not saying that Samus isn't graceful, but it is there, and I think that works. Up special, I couldn't really decide which one I wanted more. So it's going to be a reference to Journey of Dreams, and it's going to be one of the Persona masks. Not that Persona, but these things were called Persona masks. So a Persona mask is that in Journey of Dreams, there were 3 masks that Knights can put on their face. Depending on what the mask is, they are going to transform into one of 3 things. Either a rocket, a dolphin, or a dragon. So really, it's either the rocket or the dragon that's going to save Knights. Probably the dragon because it has a longer reach, but you could also have the rocket where you charge up, and depending how far you charge up, you get to go up. That could also be a thing. but one of those two. I don't know how it would have incorporated the dolphin though. So I don't really know how the dolphin would work because not all stages are near water, so yeah, it's either the rocket persona mask or the dragon persona mask. And lastly, the down special is, again, I had to reach. Down special is going to be ribbons. Specifically, a ribbon gymnastic routine. You must be wondering why. Why a ribbon gymnastic routine? Why a ribbon routine? Why? The answer is, when Knights does go into acrobatic mode in both games, they leave behind a trail of yellow ribbons. These ribbons are used to represent gracefulness in the games, so I decided that Knights is going to be protected by ribbons. Gymnastic ribbons. Ribbons that they create when they're being gymnastically. Ribbons that they create when they're being acrobatic-like. So that is why that's the down special. And now on to the final smash, which I actually thought of this time. We're gonna have 4 Knights. How are we gonna have 4 Knights? Well, Knights is going to duelize with all 4 Dreamers. Clarice, Elliot, Will, and Helen. Knights is going to duelize with them, and there'll be 4 Knights on the screen, representing the last levels of both games. And then they're going to fly off in separate directions, and then fly in a circle. This circle that they've made with the dust that they leave behind when they fly is going to be a giant paraloop. This giant paraloop is going to suck everything on the stage in sight. This paraloop only affects the middle of the stage, so if you're in the air or on the side, you're gonna be fine unless you're in the radius of this paraloop. In the games, the paraloop is your resort of defeating enemies. You paraloop, you make a loop around your enemy, and then they get sucked in and essentially die. In the final smash, however, you're not gonna die instantly. No, I mean it's a possibility, but you're not gonna die by being sucked in. You're probably gonna die by being thrown out in the opposite direction that you were sucked in from. So if you were sucked in from the right, you're gonna go flying to the left. If you were on the left, you're gonna go flying to the right. If you were on the ground, you're gonna be flying up, and if you were above the ground, you're gonna be flying down. Yes, this paraloop is going to suck you in and then explode with such force you're gonna be flying everywhere. But you are not gonna be the only thing that's flying. No, no, no. This giant paraloop is going to act exactly like the paraloop in the games, which is, it's going to suck everything in sight. So any trophies, any baseballs, any soccer balls, anything that's on the stage currently and is in the radius of the giant paraloop is going to get sucked in with you. And then it's going to be thrown at full force as well. So even if you're on the sides, you're going to have to pay attention to what's on the field right now, because you could potentially be knocked out by a full force hit in the face by a soccer ball, or a bomb, or an assist trophy, or a Pokeball. I feel like this is unique and is a nice reference to the ending of the games, and it should be a thing. I really totally love this idea I just came up with. I really absolutely would love to see this Final Smash being created and used, because I think it's unique and I think it's fun and it totally makes sense. But that's because I'm really into the Knights series, and I should probably move on to the skins now. Now, as you can tell from this Final Smash, Knights will not be the only character to represent the Knights series, because Knights is going to have help from the Dreamers, Clarice, Elliot, Helen, or Will. At the beginning of the match, depending on the skin, they will duelize with one of these 4 Dreamers, or Visitors, as Journey of Dreams calls them. See here, I kind of want to explain the whole Knights can't be a fighter because he's from a flying game problem. Because that's not a problem, and I'll explain why. First of all, Rosalina can freaking float. Yes, floating and flying are different, but Knights can only fly for 2 reasons. 1, they live in the night dimension, so Knights does have a decent flying ability. When dualized with one of the Dreamers, Knights gets a much higher, longer, and faster flying ability and is able to drill dash much easier, though there's still stamina. But if the world of Smash isn't in the 9th dimension, which also just so happens to be the dream dimension, I suppose, because you can only visit this place in your dreams, Knights wouldn't be able to fly as high even if he is dualized with a Dreamer, so they can float just like Rosalina. Also, here's another thing. Do we not remember the old Kirby games where Kirby could almost indefinitely fly at the top of the screen to skip the entire level to get to the end? And how many times can Kirby fly in Smash? Last time I counted 3 before losing his breath. So yeah, Kirby had the ability to fly indefinitely. But Sakurai obviously knew that was going to be broken, so Kirby can only fly or float 3 times. Knights has a kind of similar deal, except it makes more sense because this isn't the dream world. This is the Smash universe. Knights isn't in a dream world. So, there you go. That is really easy to solve. Knights doesn't necessarily have to be constantly flying. Knights only has to be really good at air combat. Speaking of stamina though, there was one idea that I'm not sure if I want to be implemented. Here's the idea. If Knights either takes enough damage or their little bar of stamina runs out, both Knights and the Dreamer will be out of sync and will undualize, and Knights will no longer be as strong or as fast until they redualize with the Dreamer on the other side of the stage where they had separated. It's an interesting idea I thought would be nice to add, since in the games, if you run out of time on the timer, you do separate from Knights, and you then have to go find them again to continue onto the next course of the level. But I'm not sure if that would be a good mechanic or not, because it's kind of similar to the Pokemon Trainer and Brawl, and that mechanic of being tired has been removed. So I don't know if that would still work, but it's an idea, but I'm not sure if it's a good one to be implemented. Now onto the skins. Now Knights will have 2 designs, much like Ike, since he has his Path of Radiance and Radiance Dawn outfits in Ultimate. I took a page from that since Knights also has 2 main designs. The first 4 will be his original 1996 design, and the last 4 will be his 2007 redesign. First one is Knights' original design with the Dreamer Claris at their side. Claris is obviously one of the original Dreamers we meet in Knights into Dreams, and this is obviously Knights' most iconic design, so of course it's going to be the main one, because it's Knights. Next, I decided Claris and Knights should swap colors, so Claris is a nice bright purple, and Knights is a nice bright pink. Next up is Knights in their other iconic design, Christmas Knights, along with Elliot, who is the other Dreamer from the first game. And then the next one is yet again another color swap. Knights is a nice light purple with some green accents, and Elliot took the darker purple of Knights' designs. On to the 2007 designs. Knights here is green with some yellow accents, along with Will at their side in his normal outfit. The next one, Knights and Will are matching with the colors of orange and blue. Knight's eyes have been changed to red, and William's has been changed to a sort of light golden yellow. Next, we have Knights in a yellow design with light blue and purple accents with orange eyes. Helen is in her original design and will be accompanying Knights. And finally, Knights in black with pink and orange accents. Helen here matches Knights, and this is a reference to one of the designs that was an option for Helen before they decided on her final look. With that being said and done, this is all I have to say on Knights being a future fighter in Smash. And I'm also probably out of characters that I can see being a playable character that I personally would like to see. And considering Knights is one of my favorite characters and game series in general, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I had making it. Now, if you excuse me, it's time for me to work on a theory series that has been delayed enough. Bye bye!